showcased.
You going? All right. Let me know when the intro's playing.
So set your life.
Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, joined by the Blackheart, Chris Blackheart, Chris Island. You're in the studio tonight. Aftermath is upon us. It's been a long couple days.
And that's an understatement. But coming off the heels of Marchiversary in the Hall of Fame, long weekend, good weekend. A lot of things were done. A lot of things were said. Now let's just break it down.
Indeed, we started off with the Hall of Fame, the first ever Showcase Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame on Friday night, and we saw a lot of familiar old faces get together again. All the inductions, and it was a great time. Who do you enjoy the most seeing again?
Overall, I like the whole idea. I like the idea that different talent from different eras came together in a non-political manner to celebrate pro wrestling and the history of New England, and how Showcase was lucky enough to tie the history together.
Yeah.
And I think that was the beauty of the night. We had people there from spanning over 50 years of wrestling in New England. And that's the part that I think it was cool. It was, you saw people from our early years, from Sarge's era, and then from some of the ECW era, with some people being there. So I think that part was the beauty of it. And even though I would say the biggest thing that people said, it was a long night because some of these stories went a little bit longer than we wanted, as in time-wise. But I think everybody enjoyed it. Everybody enjoyed it from start to finish, and that's the important part. And I think we did something very respectful and something that was done without party lines that people came together and enjoyed.
Yeah, most definitely. You didn't enjoy the long night, Chris Blackheart?
I don't know what was longer, the ceremony or going out afterwards, because I felt like I had a hangover going into Saturday, yet I didn't really drink.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, fair enough. I mean, Danny's had longer plane rides or train rides.
Yeah, that's different. Danny has to stand him for it. I don't anymore. Kudos to the whole staff. Some of the things behind the scenes, we've been trying to do this. What do we say? About 3 years we try to do this.
Yes.
And logistic-wise, stuff didn't work out between venue-wise and going into the talent. And, it's very similar to booking a card, is where you start and where you finish. It usually doesn't look the same. I think the only person that, the first two, I think people stayed the same between Sarge and Killer Kowalski. But other than that, everything else changed, if I don't believe.
Well, yeah, you're running a show, a lot of things could go south. A lot of things could change and go a different route. But yeah, it was great to see a lot of those guys, reunited and just to shoot the breeze and catch up on old memories and old times. A lot of the guys that showing up, like Buddy Romano and Sensational Scott Levesque were among the people that showed up. Stiff Mike Apocalypse, he made the trip down, to just to name a few of the guys that were there. It was great to see all those guys and catch up with them.
Yeah, and that's the part that I like, that a lot of people, they made the travel and trip because they wanted to, not because they had to. And it was just a little sign of respect and brotherhood.
Yes. Another guy, I don't want to forget this guy because he barely makes appearances. Former tag team partner of the Boston Bad Boy Jason Rumble. Darling Damon, he made the trip, and he's not one to show up at these things on a regular basis. So it was good to catch up with him and see him again.
Yeah, and that's the part. Like, I mean, we always kid about it at the training center that you never knew who was going to come through that door. On that Hall of Fame, you did not know who was coming through that door. So
Yes.
I was surprised, and some days I don't want to say you hope certain people would come, but you just never know who's going to go through that door. It was great to see some of our young talent mingle with some of the talent from our early roster. And even running into some of the people that made Showcase in the last 10 years. Some great memories. Cargill, Vinton.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great, and it was something that said we wanted to do, and I don't know if you want to put it out there now, but we're already talking about doing another one next year because of it.
Yeah, definitely. Something that will continue on. And again, thank you to the fans that showed up and hung out the whole night to hear the stories, to see these guys, to pay their respects. I think it drew an interest, and I think it was a great success, and one to build upon in the upcoming years to come. So.
Well, and that was the key part. It was an open forum for anyone who worked anywhere. Open forum for fans, and I know when I spoke with some of the inductees, I told them it was about the story. I want to hear your story based on you, how you saw it. Because ironically, even though you may know somebody, you don't know their full story or how they saw stuff. So that's the part that I thought was great, is that you saw and you heard a story from their point of view.
So definitely, you want to catch up on some of the happenings there. Photos are up on the social medias, SP Wrestling. More to come on the Hall of Fame, as well as footage of the night. The event will be posted on our YouTube page at SP Wrestling, so you want to stay tuned and follow us on all our social media so that you can know when this great event will drop, and you could relive or check it out for the first time when it comes to YouTube. That was just the beginning of what would be Marchiversary 19, which happened the next night at the Franklin Elks Lodge. Marchiversary 19, sold out crowd, great event. I mean, you see some pictures. I know I got a delay on my end, but yeah, I'm looking at the pictures now. But anyways, going on to Saturday, sold out crowd. We've been talking about it for months, and it finally came down to the big show, Marchiversary 19. Chris Blackheart, any thoughts on that night and what transpired?
I would say probably the first thing I want to thank the fans, because the fans really showed up, and I think that's important. I mean, it's great when normally when we go to the Franklin Elks, we team up and we do it for a charity organization. So there's a lot of times it is a blend between wrestling fans, Showcase for wrestling fans, and a charity. And the fourth thing we forgot to put in there was the friends and family of new talent that made their debut. And I think that's why I always like the Gauntlet. My favorite match every year is the Gauntlet for that reason, because typically we use it as a measuring stick to get young talent into the ring and find out where they're going from there. So if you want to say what was my favorite right out the gate, the Gauntlet is my favorite.
So you're biased on the Gauntlet. You're not at favor of the young sensation first match ever. I mean, talk about a guy that took on a test, Jordan Moses. I mean, you talk about the Gauntlet. You want to go the route of a guy that had his first match for the Sons of Liberty Championship against yours truly. Now, that's something to really take into consideration.
Well, it is, and it kind of falls in the same line for the fact that was Jordan Moses' first match of any opportunity in his life. So in a perfect world, the Gauntlet, and I don't know if you duped me on this one, but he was scheduled originally to be in the Gauntlet, a couple of weeks back. And when you made your Made in America challenge, you changed the booking in there. You took that young kid who had zero opportunity. I'm going to say zero hopes of possibly winning that gauntlet, because I would have not put my money on him, to a guy that had a 3-second chance of actually winning a championship on his first time.
No.
Was his chance slim? Yeah, but based on my history, I knowing you, but the opportunity was there.
I mean, it's like winning the lottery, Chris Blackheart. I mean, anything could happen. You're not going to win if you don't play. So, I gave an opportunity. I invited him to take a chance. And if like I said, if you don't play, you'll never know if you'll win. And he came down and then, he caught me by surprise there in the beginning.
Yeah.
I must say, he got a couple good ones on the beginning there, but I slowed the match down and got back to basics. And like I told the kid before, at the end of the match, it's not about titles, it's not about money or materialistic things. It's about respect and loyalty. And on that night, I was man enough to give him a little respect, because he did stepped up to something that is not comfortable at all. And I, as a man, can appreciate when someone does that.
So does that mean, I'm not saying Jordan Motors deserves a rematch, but does he deserve, what do you think he deserves based on his performance in your match?
Well, I really think he'll do really well against some of the new talent that's been coming up ranks here in Showcase. And down the line, he might deserve a rematch. But we'll see now when it's not given. We'll see how he earns it. So, I think it's a big step in the right direction. And I definitely got some people looking at him now, definitely.
And no matter what happened, as we know, he did come in second. Strong performance. Just going out of that curtain some days, you got to give him credit. So don't let one win, one match define you. Mr. Moses, keep on going, keep on striving, and just look forward.
Well, speaking of moving forward, we opened up the night with a match that we've been waiting for a long time, and that is the U2 World Championship, which finally appeared in position of young D-Rex. I mean, there's a lot of speculations how that title got into his gear bag. 2 nights before the event, a lot of rumors going around. D-Rex definitely says he doesn't know how that title got into his bag, and there's certainly video footage that needs to be, played and investigate the situation. But the match took place for the U2 World Championship, and things got hot. Shia Shabo went out there. There's a dislike of all those fans or whatever you want to call them. I mean, booing Shabo, and some had signs that said Shia cry out or Shia sucks. I mean, what a disrespect to a guy, that's the champion at the time, I mean, even Papa Rex tried getting involved. At the end of the night, the kid pulled the win, and he once again regained the title, and there was tears and celebrations and all kinds of festivities that night. So, not a good start for Shia at Marchiversary 19.
No. I know he was already petitioned by the time he went through the curtain of a conspiracy and how it could be rectified.
Well, Chris Blackheart, I mean, security definitely has to be tightened up by people getting involved in certain situations, kind of like Papa Rex there, right? I mean, could have ended up really badly.
Well, maybe we have to make more announcements. We'll have Frank, the announcer, make announcements. Or in this case, we're going to have Sergeant Muldoon, because he was, even though he was a Hall of Fame on Friday night, he was the ring announcer for the beginning of the first half. So maybe Sod slipped by making, the announcements, do not touch, do not throw anything, at the performers and the wrestlers.
Well, maybe he was sleeping.
He could have been sleeping.
Well, but besides that, we saw a new U2 World Champion. Like I said, night started up a little rough for one Shia Shabo. Then after that, we saw another encounter. Do you have the card in front of you? You happen to have the card in front of you? Not that guy. I mean,
yeah, no, it's funny. I'm looking at it now. I am blanking on match 2. I knew match 3 was the Gauntlet.
Match 2, I believe, was Brother Moon Revan.
Yes.
Taking on Jay Evans in a blindfold match with Annabelle by their side. And, that match definitely got a little strange. People didn't know what to expect. I mean, finally, these guys got a hold of each other. But at the end of the night, man, what controversy and what a finish to this matchup.
Well, first of all, I'd like to give both of them some credit, to say the least. Going into that environment where they had blindfolds, they literally had black hoods over their head so they couldn't see anything. So just wrestling in that environment is dangerous. So that was kudos to them. I'm watching, from the curtain, and I'm seeing what they're doing and seeing what they're missing. Someday, I am glad they missed some of the things that they were throwing, because if they hit some of the things, like when Jay Evans was swinging some kicks, he would have literally took off Revan's head, which he did in the corner. Lucky for Revan, when he did connect it, he was in the corner, because if not, I think he would have been out of the ring and possibly out cold. But the winner, right there at the end, Jay Evans, stay off looking for love, stay off dancing with the ladies. Focus.
Well,
I would say focus on yourself, and that's it.
Well, before you get to that point, they did end it up on the outside of the ring, and Jay Evans finally ended up reaching his beloved Annabelle, and suddenly we saw her stood.
That was eerie. A lot of people were creeped out.
And she proceeded to unmask Jay Evans. And I guess she wanted him to see what was coming. She proceeded to give him your welcome shot to his jewels, which caused Brother Moon Revan to choke him out and deliver the victory. And it seems like there's a big reunion in the Brothers Moon's, I don't know what you want to call that, but the Brother Moons have a line again, and Annabelle is reunited with Brother Moon Revan.
Yeah, and Jay, I know there's some reason why you loved Annabelle. I don't know why, but I think possibly, I know I may not feel it right now because there's less than a week this happening, but I think you could be in a better place down the road than you were at Marchiversary.
Well, is Annabelle done with Jay Evans? As she's been known to possess some of these people. I don't know, some weird stuff goes on as she let him loose. We'll find out coming up in Aftermath, because I believe, we don't want to jump the gun, but we're going to get into the matches there for Aftermath on April the 10th when we return to the Taunton BFW Hall in Taunton, Massachusetts. Marchiversary Aftermath. The Marchiversary that never happened is coming to Taunton, and it's going to be a big one. Tickets are on sale now. ShowcaseProWrestling.com for that huge event, just as big as Marchiversary. There is the Aftermath, so you want to be there April 10th in Taunton for that huge event. Speaking of matches, the Gauntlet for the Gold, your favorite match, was on next. But before that, we did hear words from Osiris. Cyrus, G.A. West was in the house, and he made an appearance at Marchiversary 19, where he kind of took us back through a year, memory lane, year of history, personal history with G.A., and he announced that he's back, and he's going to make that return on April the 10th at the Aftermath. Your thoughts on GA and all his situation? You know, a lot of people didn't know he actually he beat cancer, and he's coming back from that battle to do battle in the ring.
Well, and I think that's that story. It's wrestling was supposed to be storytellers, and in GA's case, the story was more real than anyone knew. Between him being diagnosed with cancer, so the fact that he is, if I'm not mistaken, cancer free, no signs.
Yeah, he is. He is at remission, and it wasn't just cancer. He was stage 4 cancer, which is very scary. To be an athlete and a guy that's always was in great shape like GA, to have that type of issue out of nowhere. I mean, his world came upside down. So
The fact that he wants to get back in the ring, he used that for a drive and a focal point, and the fact that he's back in the ring on April 10th, which we'll get into when we go down, some of the card. I mean, I think that's huge.
Yeah, definitely. Huge. GA and I go way back. I've seen GA come up in the ranks here since his beginnings, and I'm glad that, first of all, he's healthy and he's cancer free, and God willing, he stays that way. And I'm also happy that he's returning to the ring. So we'll see what happens there. Announcements will be made later on, like you said. But going on to the following matchup of that night was the gauntlet for the gold. The winner would get a guaranteed title shot at any championship in Showcase Pro Wrestling. And Chris Blackheart, you were at the curtain. So what do you have to say about that one?
Well, I mean, let's go over the rules. The rules are everybody who's in the gauntlet, their name's in there. And the fans are choosing the names literally out of the bucket. So nobody knows what order they're going in. Winner can be, or how to get eliminated is pinfall, submission, over the top. So it's a signature that we've used since we crowned our first heavyweight champion from Nicholas Knight. And it's a crazy formula, and it always gets a little chaotic back there. But just seeing the young kids, making their dream come true, because again, a lot of guys use that for a measuring stick when they're new, and the fact that they did well. Put it this way, the fact that they actually did their dream, where most people never do their dream, is saying a lot. And I think that's the part that's important. No matter if they won, lost, or if they win there for 2 seconds, they went through that curtain, they put work in to do their dream, and that's why I like the gauntlet.
Well, definitely dreams for a lot of the new guys. Definitely an opportunity for a lot of the older guys to get back on the spotlight and, like I said, win a championship opportunity. We saw the Boston bad boy Jason Rumble lace up the boots one more time and return to the ring in that matchup. And, a different Jason, much older and just getting back, but quite the run there in the gauntlet for the goal. He looked pretty good.
Well, I think that he's inspired. I think he's inspired to possibly, it's not confirmed, but Jason Rumble could have another run.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, he had a great showing, and definitely if that doesn't kick you in the ass and make you want to get back into the rhythm, what would? I mean, we saw a lot of different individuals enter the Rumble and the gauntlet for the gold. But it came down to 3 individuals. Got very, very interesting at the end there in the lights of Shia Shabo, his third best friend now, Aiden the Astonishing, and AZ. And did you see what happened, what transpired? As AZ looked like he was about to put the finishing touches by eliminating Aiden, Shia comes out of nowhere and gets rid of both of them and wins the gauntlet for the gold.
We've always said it is every man for themselves, and Shia Shabo definitely proved it.
Well, what an opportunistic individual, and they were celebrating. I believe he told me afterwards they were throwing They were throwing rolls at Texas Row House. I mean, someone was in the audience live streaming, and the people down there were celebrating. I can't confirm the footage, but it's what Shia said. And, the winner of the gauntlet for the goal at Marchiversary 19. And let's just say that opened up the doors to what people are calling Shiaversary. I mean, down the line here, as we go down the happenings. One guy that was missing, maybe he took the train, maybe he took a plane, maybe he took a cab, I don't know. But the Bionic Beast, Danny Badandi, wasn't in the house. What happened, Daniel?
Freaking car problems on the way there, man. Had to turn around and barely made it home.
Danny and these car issues, man. Like, he just can't get a break.
I was ready to wreck that place, man.
Chris Blackheart?
Well, see, another thing that was surprising, did you see the response that AZ got from the fans?
I didn't see it, but I heard it.
With his recent attitude change, that the fans, they could be buying it more than anyone right now.
Well, these people are not the brightest, to say the least. And yeah, they're loving it. They're loving the acknowledgement and the apologies and the catering that's being done by AZ towards them. So, they're deservingly so. They're reacting and they're getting behind him. So even when he came on the short end, people still appreciated the effort, and I believe they're gonna be behind him moving forward. And whatever happens down the line with AZ. But, huge response there as far as, I don't know what's wrong with these people. They went off the rafters booing Shia Shaber when he won the gauntlet. And then go off the rafters cheering for AZ when he loses the gauntlet. Does that make any sense?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I'm lost for words, Chris Blackheart.
I know the feeling.
But that was, I believe, that was the first half of Marchiversary, and then we came back. We came back with the women's matchup. Was it the women's matchup that opened up the second half?
Was it the women's? So. I think it was the women's or the tag. Which one was it?
No, it was the women's matchup. It was Evie Della Rosa taking on the returning Nikki Ballantyne, which we haven't seen in a long time in Showcase, and she looked good as always, but came up short against the veteran Evie Della Rosa, which cashed in the victory at the biggest show of Showcase, Marchiversary 19, and that women's encounter. Yeah. Did you watch any of that?
I call that the fans match for the fact that a lot of fans always ask, when do we bring women in?
Yeah.
And that, we did. We brought that. There was no feud. There was no title. There was no grudge. No nothing. It was two women that were signed to compete in Showcase Pro Wrestling. So if you liked it, make comments. Make comments on the social media page. Tag any of the girls in. Put out there some girls that you would want to see compete. But that was a fans match for the fact that we put it together because fans were asking for it, and we delivered.
I think Showcase needs a women's title.
What was that?
I think Showcase Pro Wrestling needs a women's champion.
All right, Dan. So how many girls would be a division if we were going to have a Showcase Wrestling female champion?
At least 4.
4? So, Danny, your job by next week is to book 4 girls in the division for the next 6 months.
Oh, man. Sounds familiar.
Yep.
But
that's your job, Danny.
It sounds familiar.
You want a woman's now. I see, and this is, and we've had people ask that before. Why don't we have a women's championship? And it's because a lot of times women, they are very hard to book and or replace if something happens between travel and injury. never mind other commitments. So that is really the number one reasons why we don't have a lot of women's matches, because there's some days it's a lot of work to replace them and book them for that. But for Marchiversary, we did it, and it was great to see both of the females compete in the showcase ring, and we hope to see them very soon.
Well, may I add, I did get a few words afterwards with Nikki Valentine, and she says she does have her sight on a few talents that are roaming around our showcase, because as you know, she's not only a wrestler, she's also a manager. So.
Oh, I forgot about that, and yeah. Huh.
So,
that's
just some food for the thought there.
Yeah.
But after that matchup, we did see the tag team titles were on the line as Super Stock, Sean Candido and Danny Cabral defended the championships against one half of the Puerto Rican Kill Crew, Brian Starr and Alex Rated. And Candido, we saw the matchup back and forth. Obviously, Kill Crew had it in the bag, and all of a sudden Candido faked an injury. Man, you watched that.
I just wanted to ask you what happened.
Obviously, it's obvious he faked that knee injury. And, being the nice guys that Alex Rated and Brian Starr, those guys are, they had sympathy, and they kind of backed off, and he used that as an advantage to, surprise Brian Starr with that cutter and get the 3 count. What a miscarriage of justice, but luckily karma usually lingers around, Christopher. You want to tell the idiots watching what happened?
What, at the end?
Yes, after they stole that matchup from Kill Crew. What happened?
They, Shai Shabo came through the curtain.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and talking about being the conspiracy opportunist.
He cashed in, and he cashed in big. You got to be happy about this, Chris.
I want to say I'm happy about, but that is the beauty of winning the Gauntlet for the Gold. For him,
he cashed in big.
Yeah.
Becoming, talk about what a night. The guy goes on from losing his title to winning the Gauntlet for the Gold, and then cashing in and winning the tag team championship all in one night. 3 different matches, Chris Blackheart.
It was, I heard, or Shai calls it, was it Shawoversary?
Well, whatever you want to call it. I think I thought it was great.
Well, you lost though. Your guys lost.
Yeah, our guys. Let's reword that. Our guys got robbed, and then one of our friends came out and made the correction. Like I said, karma lingers around.
So I have a question on that one. So what happened if the Puerto Rican Kill Crew won that match? Do you think Shai would have came out and cashed it in?
I don't think so. I think we got a pretty good relationship in our locker room when it comes to certain individuals.
All right, I may have to ask him that question next time, just to stir up the conspiracy.
I think I don't know. You're acting different this week, Chris.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. I just don't know if that would be the case.
I don't know, man. But
great opportunity, great win.
The smart thing was to cash on Candido and Danny Cabral, the weak links. He obviously he faked that knee injury, thought he could get sympathy from the people, and it backfired. Yeah. So, Candido, loser, and Danny Cabral, he's another loser. That was a great photo. You gotta admit. New tag team champions. Yeah. Astonishing conspiracy, Shai Shabo and Aiden. Yep. What a night for those guys. Now, moving on to happy days. You know, you go from one day to another bigger, better, happier, ongoing situation. When I face the newbie, Jordan Moses, in the only in America Open Challenge for the Sons of Liberty Championship. We talked about it in the beginning of the show. I mean, kid surprised me. He had some good shots here and there. Did he make a good impression? Yeah, he did. Did he come up short? Most certainly.
So, what advice would you have for him, like in the ring? Based on what you saw, watching any footage out there, what advice could you give this young competitor so early in his career about the ring?
Well, you know, he kind of had the idea when he was ready, to fight. You know, when he was ready to punch me and chase me out of the ring and go after me and not let up. That's the type of scenario that you have to have and you have to do to gain championships and wins. You just got to be ruthless. You have to be aggressive. You have to go out there and just get it. And there were times that he didn't do that. And certainly a young rookie mistake for that gentleman right there.
All right, that's good advice.
So, you know, like I said, we went from a great happening to another great happening. I mean, there's a lot of people booing me and calling me names and telling me to leave. And you heard those people? You believe that?
Very disrespectful.
I'm the Sons of Liberty champion, and I'm doing a great charity. I call it a charity, Chris Blackheart. You know, giving a young man his first break. And these people have the nerves to stand up and boo me out of the building. Unbelievable.
I know.
But things will get better because the night closed up with the triple threat everybody was waiting for the SPW Heavyweight Championship as the notorious Rambo Godfrey. I'm lost for words here. Took on Jason Blade and BRG. Chris Blackheart, you were at the curtain the whole night. You were at the curtain for that match. Your thoughts on the happenings? A lot of people surprised, a lot of people upset. Rambo's still the champion. Take us through that scenario.
I mean, to me, the focus point of this match was the future versus the present versus the past. And either way, if Rambo beat any of them, I think he would have made a name for himself. And I think if any of them beat Rambo, they would have made themselves for beating someone who's had over 900 days as champion. So there was a lot in this match to win and lose about, but when it came down to it at the end, Rambo did it.
Well, more to the disappointment of a lot of these fans that have been attending shows. I mean, like you said, the guy's been one of the longest reigning champions in SPW. And here he goes against two guys he's never faced before. And he leaves as champion at the biggest show of the year, Marchiversary 19. That says a lot about an individual.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, right? Tell me if I heard this right, because I don't want to misquote anybody, right? Is it true that Rambo wants to have a title match, a rematch, with either one or both of them at separate times? Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate because he feels like he needs to solidify his win. So, you know, whether it's Jason Blade coming up on the 10th, we're still on conversations, but yeah, there shouldn't be an issue with facing either or of those two individuals.
Well, what I'm thinking, in all fairness, we may have to flip a coin to find out who goes first.
Well,
Don't they do that in foosball on that little Super Bowl day? They
well,
flip a
you do.
coin, heads and tails. One kicks off, one receives.
Well, you can do it all you want. Bottom line is, whoever it is, I believe Rambo will be ready to defend the championship come the April aftermath in Taunton.
Well, going in before aftermath on the 28th, we're going up 146 to BVT Blackstone Valley Tech. That is a 7:07 bell time. That is a fundraiser for Blackstone Valley Tech. So if you're in the Worcester area, or if you want to go from Rhode Island, support a great cause, support a great school. This is our third year we're going there.
This is the third year going to BVT.
Yes.
So third year going there, it's always a great time, always a great show, always great staff, great facility at the school. So, don't miss out on a great night of pro wrestling by Showcase Pro Wrestling for a great cause, like you said. And I already heard Chris Blackheart. I know you probably did. It's probably in your phone right now, but it has been signed. The rematch for the SPW Tag Team Championships as Astonishing Conspiracy, Aiden and Shad Shable will take on the Super Crybabies, Danny Cabral and Sean Candido.
All right, I like it.
These guys didn't wait not even 2 days to go crying for a rematch, huh?
No, but I mean that's smart. That's the first opportunity they can do it. Do it right away.
So you want to be at BBT for that encounter, as well as other matches that will be announced here next week on the podcast. Some of the lineup for that show on March 28th at BBT. Tickets are on sale now at showcaseprowrestling.com. The link is there. QR code is there, I believe. Who's the gentleman there that's at the school? He's gonna be in the house. Patrick.
That is Patrick. He is the he's the informer for the night. The enforcer. I couldn't say the informer, but yeah, actually he is. He informs us. He is a member of the staff there, so he does inform us on some updating of what's going on in the school. But he will be the special enforcer for that night. So Blackstone BBT owned Patrick O'Connell will be in the house.
So there you have it. Like I said, tickets on sale now. I believe Danny pulled that in the screen. You got to press the buy any event button and then pick that event for BBT after you're inside that page, right? Am I right there?
No, you are perfect. In the other event after that, you'll also see April 4th. We're going back to Woonsocket. That's a showcase Saturday, special bell time of 7:07. So the great part about that is really in between Marchiversary and the aftermath, and you don't know what's going to happen. A lot of guys are ready to go. They want rematches. They want to fix some grudges. So that's the time to do it.
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of time before we get to the aftermath. But after Showcase Saturday night on the 4th, we go back to the Taunton BFW Hall. We go back to Taunton for Marchiversary aftermath. And what a lineup is shaping up for that night in Taunton. We already saw a couple of days ago, big matchup has been signed, the rematch for the YouTube World Championship and a ladder match, because Blackheart, your favorite,
I hate it. Absolutely.
Shavo gets his rematch against D-Rex, and it's already been up there. Danny, pull it up.
Yep, it's up.
There you see it.
Hundreds of ladders there. Not a big fan.
Rematch at Marchiversary, aftermath, ladder match. People been asking. Some missed it this year because of going to Franklin. Different issues with the height and the ceiling and stuff like that. But it's back, and it's back at the aftermath. Chris Blackheart. What, you took a deep breath there?
We know
I
how
did.
Chris loves these
I
hardcore
do, I
matches.
hate it. That is my least favorite match. I hate watching them. You know, I know the fans like them. I don't like them.
Well, you know, it's all about the fans, and they're going to get it April 10th in the Aftermath, Taunton, BFW Hall. Another match that we don't have the match card yet, but it's already been signed, is a no disqualification mashup as Brother Moon Revan takes on Jay Evans in a rematch from their blindfold match at Marchiversary.
And the biggest problem with that one, Jay, I don't know why you signed it. The biggest question that one is where will Anna will be and how will she be affected the outcome?
Well, you know, that remains to be seen. It is going to be an interesting night. Like I said, some of the matches signed for that one is huge. It's just as huge as Marchiversary, just the Aftermath. You know, another matchup that will be taking place, we talked about this earlier in the week, brand new matchup for the Aftermath. Kind of like a spin-off, the Gauntlet for the Gold. A multi-men scramble matchup, which the order will be picked by the fans. Every 30 seconds, a new contender will enter the ring. And once we get everybody in, that's when the matchup will officially start. And the winner of that matchup, Chris Blackheart, will get a shot at a title of his choosing for the next, year. They could cash it in a year from that date. That's going to be a great one. That's going to be a new one. And it all happens April 10th, Marchiversary Aftermath. Tickets are on sale right now. You could go on the website and get your tickets for that event because I believe that's going to be a big, big house that night, and you want to get your tickets in advance.
Yeah, and we do. We always encourage people to get them online ahead of time, especially like Marchiversary. One advantage that we have for Marchiversary, anyone with advance tickets, we let them early because that is typically a sold-out event. Most of our events, you can pay cash at the door, but it is easier for everybody if you do get them online because some venues are small and they're limited seating, and the only person you can blame if you don't get your advance tickets is yourself.
Bro, yeah, definitely want to get advance tickets for that one. You're gonna see a lot of new faces partake probably in that scramble matchup. Just like you did at Marchiversary and in the Gauntlet for the Gold, and a lot of different matchups, including that ladder match that Chris loves so much. So get your tickets now. Don't be left out. It is gonna be an amazing event, April 10th in Taunton. The next night, if you want to pull it up, Danny, April the 11th, our friends over at Powerhouse Wrestling return to the Sturbridge Host Hotel in Sturbridge, Massachusetts for spring break. And in the main event, for the first time ever of that card, you will see Carlito Caribbean Cool, formerly of the Judgment Day, taking on the coolest bro, the original bro, Matt Riddle. Matchup, a lot of fans been talking about it, leaving comments on the Powerhouse website and social media, Powerhouse Wrestling NE. Looking forward to that one there when these two superstars collide for the first time, Carlito Caribbean Cool and Matt Riddle in that encounter. We have it up, Danny?
Yep. There it is right there.
I can't. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, another matchup. I'll be defending the Powerhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Championship against a mystery opponent. Who would it be? I don't really care at this point. All these surprises, all these happenings, I'm already used to it, so I'm not going to get caught off guard. Tag Team Championship matchup. It could be for the future Powerhouse Wrestling Tag Team Championships at one time. The Puerto Rican Kill Crew, Rambo Godfrey, and Alex Raiden will team up to take on a new coming team. If I see the poster come up, Because it's all over the place now, Danny. I'm in the tag team match.
Yeah, it's a 20-second delay.
The breadwinners, Terry Adonis and Dio Bando, make their Powerhouse Wrestling debut all the way from PA and Battleground to take on the Puerto Rican Kill Crew in that tag team encounter. Another matchup that is signed already is for the young champions, the Young Lions, as Christopher Spratt defends his championship against a guy that claims he's 199 pounds and 20 years old, Shy Shable, Chris Blackheart. You believe that?
Well, I think the conspiracy one is, I can just put it out there. I think he's a liar.
Well, I mean, I like Shable, but that 20-year-old.
I think he's, I like question marks, but I think he's blatantly lying. Because if he's not lying about the age, that he could be 21, all right? Or 22, but there's no way he is 199 pounds.
Well, I just found out that it's an individual that Shy is not going to be very happy about. It's going to be lingering around to prove that this gentleman's not 20 years old. And that is the #1 contender at the Young Guns Championship. It's kind of beginning to be like Carlos Slavin and I. D-Rex says he's going to be in the house that night.
What?
Yep. And I mean, Shia, I try calling you. You're not answering the phone. I don't know if you're at Texas or whatever the issue is. But, yeah, things are not looking good. So I would put the breads and the steaks aside, and I would focus on what's next come April 11th.
Put down the butter. You can still have the rolls. We'll put down the butter.
Yes, definitely put down the butter. But for you people that haven't got your tickets, they're on sale right now at benbright.com, Powerhouse Wrestling NE, all social media for that great event. Tickets, I believe the front row was close to selling out. So, get your tickets now for that big event. It's going to be a great one. Great start to the spring. Anything else? We got some news. We had sent some news over, some big news. Let's start it off with Ricochet. And I don't know if you got to see what happened with Ricochet, Chris Blackheart.
Is this because he said a comment regarding a fan? What was the comment? Am I correct on that?
I believe that after the pay-per-view they had on Saturday night, someone made a comment that Ricochet was still a bad actor. And Ricochet went on their social media, and I guess this person that made a comment, I believe it was a woman or a girl or something, had MS. And Ricochet said, "Oh, good, you have MS." So after those comments, people were erupted.
Yeah.
They were making death threats. They were making threats not only to him, but his wife, former announcer, yeah, they were making all kinds of threats to both of them. And, things got a little carried away after his comment, even though he apologized afterwards. There's still a lot of people making threats and a real backlash on the internet.
Yeah, see, I mean, this is the problem where with everything's real or the F word until it isn't.
Yeah.
A true heel would take it, forever, right? But
yeah.
So in these people, which way do you do it?
Well,
it's the problem with social media. It stays there, and depending on who's looking at it, if they're not a wrestling fan, they're going to say, remove that guy from a corporation. As a wrestling fan, he's being that heel, but it's a very bad line now in the world because of it.
Apparently, a lot of people taking it, off the radar and off whatever the rails. They've said in the past, Ricochet's an asshole. Ricochet's had issues. He blamed WWE for his mishaps, but in reality, in real life, he's a jerk and all this other stuff. But again, like you said, these are comments by people that probably never met Ricochet, never associated with him. It's word of mouth from other people that have an issue with him. And you can't confirm that unless you've been around the guy and unless you've had a situation with the guy. Even Jim Cornette, our old buddy, Uncle Jim, was like, oh, yeah, heard he's an asshole and this and that. And the key word is you heard, which is far from knowing what an individual and a person is like.
And probably the first thing I would bring up there, what account did he post that on? Was it?
Posted it on. He replied to that girl's comment.
No, but was it as Ricochet?
Yeah.
So, and I know you know nothing about this, right? If the gentleman who is, I hate to say playing the character Ricochet responded, that's a fictitious character. That person does not really exist on the planet.
Yep.
Ricochet, the character, does, not Ricochet, the real person.
Well, and apparently these keyboard warriors that are making death threats, and as you see some of the comments there, those comments were left on Samantha's social media, his girlfriend, or wife now. I believe they got married, not sure. You're threatening the guy's wife now. She had nothing to do with it. Yeah. She had no part on his comment and whatever he's getting himself into. You're so tough that now you're making threats to the guy's wife.
Yeah.
And these are the dudes that that sit in their mother's basement and make these threats, which never come to fruition half the time. But definitely death threats you got to take serious.
Yeah.
Whether they real or not.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens with that. There's talks that they're gonna fire him, and they're gonna fire him from AEW. People are petitioning for him to get fired from AEW. AEW was accused of keeping it kayfabe and on the low, up until the point that those threats were made, and it was well known by both individuals that they were getting death threats.
Yeah.
And if you look at the comments, man, it's from damn trolls and a bunch of cowards. You gotta be a complete scumbag to make death threats to a woman like that.
Well, yeah, you're going around making death threats with fake accounts. I mean, I can only imagine what these people look like. I can see them now with bags of Burger King underneath their bed.
Oh, this is the press right here. Somebody posted the cartoon.
So, other news, I did send you, Blackheart send you something else, or did you have something else that we sent over to the page?
Do you have a spot for me on SmackDown? I guess a video.
Oh yeah. I sent the young kid looking for a spot, and I wasn't sure if that was young Isaiah. Play that clip and tell me if that was Isaiah. Well, can we play that? There's no WWE logo on it. Is that correct? That clip? Fine. Is that clip good?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a young. I think this is Isaiah Fontaine.
Man, you're a little bit young to be politicking for a job. Man, you're a little bit young to be politicking for a job.
Is that Isaiah Fontaine?
I mean, the video's frozen on my end, so I can't.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a young video you sent me about a young talent looking for a job from the SmackDown GM.
Oh, okay, that little kid?
Yes.
So you're trying to say that's Isaiah Fontaine?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. So.
I mean, that kid is this? It can't be, because what's his name hasn't been the GM of SmackDown for that long. Are you trying to be funny with this?
No, I'm just saying. I thought that was my first thought, that was Isaiah Fontaine.
Well, we have seen Isaiah Fontaine kind of petition different things, and he's upset, obviously, that he didn't get that Only an American Challenge opportunity. He's upset about getting chopped and eliminated from the Gauntlet for the Gold. I mean, he's going through counseling and all this other stuff. no idea what's gonna happen with this kid come April 10th.
Well, speaking of no idea, Danny, what do you have on the chat, eh?
Well, Daddy Rex of T-Rex, D-Rex, whatever, he's saying that I didn't touch Shabo as much as I wanted to do after he mustered me.
Wow. Well, we may have to, at the next showcase show, we got to read the rules and regulations regarding proper etiquette for fans. We're going to call it the Papa Rex rule. How's that?
So Papa Rex is in the chat saying that he wants to punch Shot Shabo in the face.
Well, he said he didn't touch Shabo
He didn't, okay, but he wants to.
as much as he wanted, yes.
All right. So he admitted that he did, but it just wasn't as much as he wanted.
Well, you know, it is what it is. We're going to find out what happens come April 10th in that ladder match, that rematch. And then, you know, like I said, Shy, you got to put them rolls down and concentrate on what's going on because you're going to get a double dose that weekend of D-Rex. And you have to prepare yourself for the worst. So I'm sure he's not going to be a very happy guy when he finds out all these things.
No.
So, you know, other news before we get off the air tonight. This is from a couple of weeks ago, I believe 2 weeks ago. I don't know if we touched. I wasn't here last week. It was you and Derek last week. Did you guys touch base on that referee that got injured in that OVW match?
I know we didn't, but yeah, I mean, that was a lot of questions being brought up on that one. So bring it up.
Yeah, another scandal. You know, people unhappy. People lashing out at the office, lashing out at Al Snow and other individuals, and you know, dropping names. And of course, you know, we don't know specifics. We don't know if Al Snow was backstage. We don't know if he was there. I mean, I've known Al personally from working shows and doing seminars and you know, lingering in the locker room. And I know he's a professional at all times. And, you know, something like that, I don't believe would happen on his watch. So
Well, I got a news report on that.
Attacking him and speaking like they were there, you know, that's a little bit, again, off the tracks. So.
Well, I got a news report on that.
What was that?
News report says OVW referee hospitalized after seizure during Louisville wrestling match, and I guess his mother said they still kept kicking him and everything.
Well, the footage is out there online. They kept on wrestling around him, and then one of the individuals, which is the one to blame really, because he was the asshole that did what he did. I mean, he grabbed them, physically grabbed them, and dragged them to the side, and then kicked them off to the side. So, you know, the other guys were idiots enough that they kept on wrestling around them and you know, the ring kept on moving and this guy obviously, you know, was in need of help at that point in time. So that's the footage.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the footage right there.
That's his mother right there.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the footage and the guy should have been aware in the ring what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, you see the guy right there froze and he's twitching on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the first thing that I got aggravated for was the ring awareness, that the talent was not aware what was going on in the ring. You know, and if you see this, look, he's rolling him to the side, right? You know there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, and look at that, you know, shitty chop, right?
Well, they continue to wrestle.
Right? Somebody should have took control of that in the ring. And my question is, and this is, you know, I literally pull the curtain. 99.9% of the time at a showcase event, I am at the curtain.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is one of the reasons why I am at the curtain. If something does happen, goes away, we need security, you know, knock on wood, hopefully we never, you know, need serious medical help. But that's one of the reasons that, you know, we would make the call based on the matches going on, what we're doing to stop it, modify it, or change the environment. And I think at that time, I don't think Al was there that night. Is that accurate? Or he wasn't at the curtain?
Well, he, you know, from what I hear, and then, you know, like I said, if I I've known Al from being around locker rooms and being around seminars and being around him having involvements at shows like Mike Spotter back in the day. You know, he's a true professional, and if he was there, that would have came to a stop right away. So, you know, I've seen a lot of different comments that are not accurate by people that don't know Al and don't know anything about OVW. So.
Yeah, and if I'm not, if there's any medical professionals that listen to this, if you want to correct me, but if I'm not mistaken, if someone's having a seizure, your job is to stabilize them flat and get them medical help after they stop. Is that correct?
Yes, and by the looks of this ring bouncing around, you could tell that one of the bounce, you know, the ring bouncing caused them to go into a worse.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to keep them flat in a stable area and get a medical. But typically, physically, when they're having a seizure like this, it's nothing you can physically do except secure them, you know, in a manner where the you know, the floor or whatever you have them on is secure. Because we had this many years ago. A friend of ours had this issue, you know, and then I remember afterwards we you know, verified. They go, because before they used to put something in the mouth, but now they're afraid someone's going to choke on it.
Yeah.
But the main thing is once this happens, you get the medical attention. A lot of times people wake up from a seizure, they don't remember it, and they're fine.
Yeah,
you know?
We have one of the guys, you know, speaking of, you know, midget wrestling, there's one of the guys there that has the condition of getting these seizures, like bad seizures, and half of the time he could feel them coming on, but then afterwards he doesn't really recall anything happening.
And I would say in a case like this, if you never had a seizure before and this happened, you know, people are more concerned about going to get a medical help. But unfortunately, some people do have medical conditions and they do get seizures, and it's just part of their life.
Yeah, well, in this case, it's different because that guy probably doesn't suffer from seizures, and his seizure was caused by brain trauma, which is dangerous, and he could have lost his life.
Yeah. So this is, again, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I did not hear the clip about the mom. I can obviously sympathize with the mom, you know, being concerned. Again, I didn't see the clip of the mom, but you know, this is why, again, at our events, I'm at the curtain. Like I said, 99% of the time, you know, watching, going over stuff, and modifying, you know, of it. But as talent, you got to be aware. You got to be aware of the outside. You got to be aware of the ring. Stuff changes, you know, between the environment in the ring and the environment outside the ring, and you have to be alert and aware.
The hell are they using a kid? It looks like a.
And also, if you haven't been trained properly to take a move, you know, you shouldn't be partaking and taking a move that you never taken before, because it looked like he was way out of position. It looked like he didn't know how to protect himself when the guy came off the top rope, and he kind of landed on top of his head.
Well, I mean, if we want to go down a road right now with referees, some people say, hey, I just want to learn how to referee. I don't want to bump. Well, part of the training we do for training for a referee is learning how to bump and protect yourself, because it's important.
Yeah, you have to protect yourself.
Situations like this, stuff does happen, and just being a great person in the ring to count 1, 2, 3 is not the only training that you need.
Yeah, you definitely need to protect yourself and protect the others that are in the ring. I mean, you have to have that reaction that if something happens, you're going to take charge. And we've seen it time and time and again. And then we saw this not too long ago with the other incident with, what's his face, son there. I even forgot his name at this point. But we saw when that deal happened, the referee counted the 3, guys kept doing stuff. And you got to have guys that are ready to take control of a situation.
Yep.
So, you know, I think we covered everything for tonight.
We did. I would say the biggest thing people have to do is follow us on social media. A lot of stuff on all of our lines between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SP Wrestling. That's where you find everything. tickets or merchandise at showcasepressing.com.
So, follow us, like you said, social media at SP Wrestling. The links for all the events coming up, BBT on the 28th, April 4th in Woonsocket, and April 10th in Taunton. They're all available at showcaseprowrestling.com right now. You can click on buy tickets and select your event and buy your tickets for that selective event. But for this week, for tonight, this is all we have. For Danny Badandi, for the Blackheart, Chris Island, and Don Vega.